My name is Kathrin and I am a PhD student at University of Glasgow. I study public health and infectious disease, and more specifically, I study something called antibiotic resistance. So to explain, first of all, I study how people use medicines like these. So these are tablets, these are capsules, and then this is an injection for animals of antibiotics. So these ones are for humans, this one's for an animal, but they are all used to treat different diseases which are caused by bacteria. So for example, typhoid fever or tuberculosis are diseases which are caused by bacteria and they are treated with antibiotics. However, so the problem we are looking at is that antibiotics sometimes are not used optimally, and that means people are, first of all, not getting better, but they also kind of train the bacteria to fight the antibiotics. So what this means is that at some point bacteria can kind of learn or evolve, like we would say, to be resistant against the antibiotics. So that really means you take these antibiotics when you're sick, but you're not going to get better anymore because the bacteria learned how to fight back against the antibiotic. So that's antibiotic resistance. And we don't want this to happen, especially also not in the communities that we work in. So we are looking at how people use these antibiotics and want to make suggestions on how to use them better so the bacteria can learn how to be resistant. So that's kind of an easy way to say what I'm doing. As I said, I work in communities and I do that in Tanzania. So I'm stationed here in Glasgow, but I've spent quite a lot of time in Tanzania and did work with the people there to see how they use and where they get their antibiotics from. So I'm what you would call an interdisciplinary researcher. That means I work between different disciplines. I do not only do one thing, I do a lot of things. So that also means that a normal day during my PhD can differ quite a lot. So at the beginning, when you start a PhD, it's mostly reading. You need to read a lot of studies to learn about what you want to study, which in my case is antibiotic resistance, but also about how people live in the communities in Tanzania. Then I went on fieldwork, and this was really the favorite part of my study. So I planned a few different things that I want to ask people and that I want to do with people. And then I went there, and in all the communities that we work in, we went to people's houses, we showed them these kind of blisters and bottles, and we asked them, how do you use these kind of medicines? What do you use them for? All this stuff. So it's kind of an interview. Then we also went to pharmacies and health facilities where these antibiotics are given out or sold. And we sat down and we observed how people get their medicines. Do they get any advice on how to use them and so on? And then in the end, we also had some surveys. So we kind of did different things to get data about my question that I'm asking. Now I am back home, so my fieldwork is sadly already done. And now I have all this information that I got from the people, and I'm trying to analyze it and make sense of what people told me. And this I do in different ways. So on one hand, I have what people have said. So these are transcripts of interviews, and I read through them a lot of times and try to see what people have in common. What are the themes that people are talking about? I also have surveys, so I do statistics on them. This happens in a statistics software, so that's me sitting in front of the computer and trying to do some statistic tests, some mathematics with that. And another thing I do is also I have these antibiotics here, and I try to take one of these tablets, for example, and make a powder out of it, and then put it in some liquid and put it through a machine. And the machine tells me if this drug actually has the chemicals that it should have. So we are basically testing what kind of chemicals are in these tablets and if that's what they should have in order to treat people properly. So I also do some lab work, and that really means I stand in a laboratory with all the white coats and the safety glasses and everything. So these are basically the three kind of things I do. We also have a lot of meetings. I talk to a lot of people. So a PhD is not one thing, it's a lot of different things. And then in between, obviously, I have to also write about what I learn. So yeah, I think kind of advice to my younger self about my job that I have now, or generally any job really, would be follow your heart. I really love what I'm doing. It's the best thing ever, really. And I think it's important to do what you love, to find a purpose. Why do you want to do this job? Because any job that you do for a long time, it's going to be hard at some point to motivate yourself to get up in the morning to do the same thing again. So it helps to know why you are doing it. So in my case, it's really about helping the people to find a better way of healthcare, making sure they get healthcare so they don't get sick. These people are very poor, so it's also kind of, yeah, making sure they don't die, really. And that's a good purpose, I think. If everyone makes the life of one person better in life, if everyone does that, we have a better world. That's what I believe, and that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, and kind of another advice is kind of two things. So learn how to work with people, make sure you learn how to ask good questions and find out who can answer these questions. You are not supposed to do anything alone if it is in research or in other kinds of jobs. Everything is teamwork, and only as a team you will have good success. I think you even if you can have success alone, in a team is always going to be better. Two pairs of eyes see more than one, and so on. So it's really about the connection to people and talk to people, and yeah, make sure you know that you are not alone.